Hi, hello again. In the previous video, what I showed you was how to install VirtualBox, how to install Ubuntu inside VirtualBox, and then we transported the files, the project files, into this Ubuntu operating system. So now they are in the file system inside Ubuntu. What we are going to do now is we are going to use the Buildozer Python library to create an APK file. But before we do that, we need to install some dependencies in the Ubuntu operating system because Buildozer needs them to be able to create this APK mobile file. To do that, while you are in the folder where the project files are, right-click and go to Open in Terminal. So that will open the Linux terminal. You'll see this current directory. So that is where your files are. If you do ls, you'll see that these are the files. So main.py is there. Make sure this is named exactly main.py because Buildozer needs to see that file. And that file should have the main program. I don't need this screenshot file, so I'm just going to remove that. So as you can see, the screenshot file is not there anymore. To locate the open windows on Ubuntu, go to Activities, and so you'll see that the terminal is open and the File Explorer is also open as well. So click on Terminal, that will bring back the terminal window. Now among those files, you see this Kivy Buildozer installer.sh. You can see the content of that file using cat and write the name of the file. So this is what that file has inside. Basically, these are instructions on installing many dependencies, including Python, Buildozer, and Kivy, because this Linux system doesn't have Kivy either. Go down here. We are again here, and click bash key, press tab to autocomplete the name. So that is the name of the sh file. Click enter. Enter the password for your Ubuntu system. So this is a password that you created when you were installing Ubuntu. Ubuntu asked you for a username and a password. And expect this to take a while. So Ubuntu is now downloading these packages from the internet. And the internet was automatically enabled when you install Ubuntu, so I didn't have to do any manual configuration of the internet connection. Sometimes you'll get some warnings, but you can ignore them. And this is not a stable process because there's a lot of dependencies involved, and sometimes you'll get some errors when we create that APK file, so that file will not be created sometimes. It's not an easy process, but you can read the errors, what they are saying, and maybe search on Google to see what others are talking about that particular error. So there's no guarantee that it will work. That being said, Linux is the best operating system to be able to create these APK packages. And finally, the installation has finished in my computer, in my virtual Linux computer. The next step is optional. You might want to try out the app that you have. To do that, use Python 3, the Python 3 command, main.py, which is the file that we have been using. So the app is working fine with Python. Let's try it out. Yeah, it's working fine. So close that window. And the next thing we want to do is to create a Buildozer specification file. To do that, we use Buildozer, so the command Buildozer init. Okay, that created this buildozer.spec file. You can minimize this window and find that file in the file system. You can ignore this file, we don't need this. It was just some notes I was using. So buildozer.spec, you can double click it and it will open with the text editor app. So here, what we have here is we can change some parameters of the app that we are going to create. And let's put the title, How Do You Feel? You can choose a name for the package, but don't use spaces there. I'll just leave it my app. And you want to stop here. What extensions do you want the package to include? So we have PY files, we have some PNG files as well, and we also have JSON files. So this is what we want to be included. KV file as well, but it's already there. So KV is already there, and then go further down. So this is going to be version 0.1. It's our first deployment. And then you want to stop in here. So what requirements does your package have? Well, let's see what libraries what third-party libraries do we have in our main.py file. So we have the KV file. Hoverable is a local file. It's not a third-party library. This local file is included in the project file, so you don't have to declare that in the requirements. And that's all we have. JSON and Globe are standard Python libraries, so they come with Python random as well, and also pathlib. So in the buildozer.spec file, we don't have to add anything else other than Python 3 and KV. Go down. Here you want to enable all orientations, not only portraits on the mobile. That's fine. And this version here should be changed to 8. And that's all. Make sure to save the file. So click Save or Ctrl S, close. And then go back to the terminal window. And now what's left to do is we want to run the command that will create, hopefully, the APK file. And that is buildozer Android debug . At some point, that will ask you if you want to accept the license. To accept the license, press Y and then enter. That initially failed in my system, so if that is the case, you might want to go back and look at the error, because these are just generic messages. You want to locate, after these colors, you want to locate here the top of the red message. So that command failed, and I think that is because we specified version 8. So let's try to go to the buildozer spec file and change that version of Arc to 7, because it seems the packaging is not yet ready for version 8. And beside this, we also forgot, I think we forgot to add the .txt extension among the accepted extensions here. So .txt, because .txt is the file where we have those quotes. So make sure to save this, close it, and go to the terminal again. This time, we're going to try again to build the APK file using buildozer Android, but this time we're going to add the clean flag and then debug. So the clean flag will make sure not to mess with the previous efforts of trying to build the APK package. Press enter, and again we're going to have to wait a while for the process of packaging to be completed, but this time you're not going to be asked to accept the license, and the process might be quicker than before. So let's wait a bit. So the second build efforts were completed in my Linux. Go to the folder. Bin has been created, the folder. So inside that you should be able to find the APK file. So that's about this video. In the next video I'm going to get an Android device and I'm going to show you how to install that APK file on an Android device. See you!